the more and more I meet people who have quote unquote made it, the more I realize that like they're not that special. There are kids, there are 18-year-olds that are making $500,000 a month. Like, you just have to solve a painful problem, believe that you can do it, and then go after it with everything you've got. And if you do that, then anybody can really truly have $1 million business. But we are going to break down exactly how.
If your business feels like it's growing, but you also feel like you're one bad month away from stressing the hell out, then this is worth 30 seconds. At Success School, we have helped over 1,000 service businesses to install a system that brings in 10 to 20 new clients every single month without relying on referrals. And we're so confident that it works that we offer a 30-day love it or leave it guarantee. So if you join and you don't love it, you can leave in the first 30 days, no questions asked. So go ahead and book a free scale session at startsuccessschool.com, and our team will review your business and hand you a roadmap to start signing new clients as soon as next week and dominating your market by the end of next month. How our clients have built $1 million businesses. This episode goes through it step by step. If you're a coach or service-based business owner looking to grow a $1 million business, this episode's going to walk you through the step-by-step process to get there. In the last 4 years, we've earned over $10 million in our own business, and we're on track to do $4 to $5 million this year. We've also had 37 clients hit $83,000 months, which puts them at the $1 million run rate. We have listed them out by name. Today, the 5 steps that we are going to be covering are nailing the right offer, the right marketing, the right sales process, and what the team needs to look like, and what reinvestment needs to look like to help you hit that $1 million mark.
So the big idea that we want to teach you guys today is that you need a process, you need accountability, and most of the time you need support to do this. There aren't many people that are out there just winging their way to $1 million business. It does require structure, and usually when you follow someone else's structure, it's a lot easier to get there because the path has already been walked by plenty of people. Like we said before, we've had 37 clients that have got there, whilst working with us, which is fantastic. Not many people do this alone, and that's essentially why we built Successful, especially like the 2.0, 3.0, 4.0 version that we've got. We basically give our clients the roadmap. We give them the scripts, tools, processes, SOPs, and then obviously coaching and accountability on top of it. And we've done all the hard stuff so you don't have to. We wanted to kind of lift the lid in this episode on what it actually takes and what we think you need to do to get there. Steph, do you want to tell us about a couple of clients that are crushed?
Yeah, look, we've had a ton of clients hit like we said, the 7-figure run rate. But something that stands out, we'll call them R&T. They went from $15,000 a month to $140,000 a month in 18 months with us, which is a huge, and just to be really clear, that $140,000 a month that they hit wasn't a one-off. They actually hit $100,000 months 3 months in a row prior to hitting the $140,000 a month. And that honestly is just the beginning for them. They're just about to unlock a whole other level. And everything that we're talking through today is basically the system that we gave them, the coaching, the support, everything we gave them. They just implemented it, did it to the nth degree, went hard. They were hungry. They believed it was possible for them, which is so much a part of the game, is believing that you can actually do it, believing that if me and Tim can do it. And like, just to be really clear, like I can't even do math. And I mean, Tim's actually very intelligent. But if we can do it, then truly anybody can do it. I really, really believe this. And I actually put this on my Instagram stories this morning. I said this morning that the more and more I meet people who have quote unquote made it, the more I realize that like, they're not that special. There are kids, there are 18-year-olds that are making $500,000 a month. Like, you just have to solve a painful problem, believe that you can do it, and then go after it with everything you've got. And if you do that, then anybody can really, truly have $1 million business. But we are going to break down exactly how.
Do you want to tell us about, their biggest lever, how they got there? We did mention this in the last episode, but I think it's worth sharing, like, how powerful his strategy is.
So this client specifically that I was just talking about that went from $15,000 a month to $140,000 a month, they didn't really change much about their offer. Like we did, I think, increase their price point and change a little bit of the structure of the offer, but the market was exactly the same. Like the audience was exactly the same. And in fact, they didn't even grow their audience that much over the 18-month period. But what they did do was webinars. This was their biggest lever. Now, we spoke about this ad nauseum in other episodes, because I think that webinars, workshops, conversion events, challenges, I don't care what you want to call it, any of those mechanisms where people are getting to spend a long time with you are just such an unlock for any consulting oftentimes most service businesses could also benefit from this, and any kind of coaching business is just such a huge unlock. So basically what we helped them install was a webinar function. By doing this webinar function, they pretty much did just organic content driving to their webinars, and they didn't even start running paid ads until probably the last few months, which is insane. So now they're just tapping into paid ads, which is how we know that they're going to explode the market even more. But the same function still applies. They're just going to use their paid ads to drive to their webinars. They're going to use their webinars to sell. So it's just a huge unlock.
All right, let's get into the first of 5 lessons today. We're going to talk about offer. Specifically, high ticket offer is key here. So we've said 37 clients of ours have hit the 7-figure run rate, and 36 of them did it with a high ticket offer. Okay, we only had one person do it with a low ticket offer, and they were selling a $49 product. We're not saying it's not possible to do with a mid-ticket. What I am telling you is the statistics here from our own clients is 36 of them hit it with a higher ticket offer. Typically, like when you sell something higher ticket, you're going to get people that are generally at like a higher caliber financially. They're going to be easier to work with. They're going to be easier to sell. They're going to get better results. They're going to be more invested. And, you know, in my opinion, Steph might disagree with me here. I almost think high ticket is easier to sell and easier to do than low ticket. Low ticket sounds easy because everyone on Instagram has sold you the dream that you could just sell a little course and make, 7 figures. But the realization that I've had many times is that getting someone to buy something for $49 or $197 is really hard.
Well, it's just as hard as getting someone to buy something for $10,000. You just need to find the person who has $10,000, and then they will be happy to buy something for $10,000. Like, it's just a different thing. I think the thing is that, like, everybody can buy low ticket. Everyone can afford $47, right?
Yeah.
So it feels like, oh my God, the market's so much bigger, but that's not actually the truth. Like, it's so much easier to find one person who will pay $10,000 than to find, I can't math this, but like 100 people, which would be even more than, it'd be like 600 people to buy a $47 thing. Like, it's so much easier. It truly is. And like in our experience of our own business, we sold things from everything from $42 all the way up to, $30,000 and sometimes more. The easiest sales we have ever made have always been at the top of that price point. And it's simply because what you're able to offer once you start charging I remember a mentor said this to me. Mentor Kim said this to me, and he said, what happens when you increase your price point is that you can offer a better service. Like with that increased price point, you can hire another team member to make sure that they get taken care of. With that increased price point, you could send them a gift on their birthday. With that increased price point, you can hire somebody simply just to call them and make sure that they're doing okay. Like when you have increased price point, you can do increased service, which makes their experience much better, which makes them get results, which makes them refer you to people who also have that amount of money. It's just like the easiest thing in the world.
Yeah, let's talk about our service particularly. We've changed recently. We've talked about it a little bit on the podcast, but we've introduced a one-on-one element to what we do. We had to obviously increase our price point on that, otherwise it wouldn't be profitable for us to do. So we've added on one-to-one coaching with everything we do. And what that looks like is, depending on what package you're on, is like a weekly one-to-one with our client success team or weekly one-to-one with Steph and I. And that is fantastic because we can keep on top of people. We can hold them accountable. We can make sure they get better results. But, along with that did come an increased investment. I have currently 5 one-to-one clients. All of them are hitting their best month ever in business. And I wonder why, because they're heavily invested. Okay. So they've invested big in us and we've invested big time into them. Therefore, they're seeing the results in business. Low ticket is quite hard to do. Specifically, I just want to talk about like this one case that we have in our ecosystem. And low ticket is framed as like, it's super easy, super cheap. You just get all these people to buy your shit and it's fantastic. But the reality and under the hood of these type of businesses are, yes, high ticket, the business we have has expenses as well, but you're making more money. Low ticket has lots of expenses because it's very expensive on Facebook ads to acquire a client. And what most people don't tell you is they're spending upwards of 50 or 60% of that money just to acquire a client. So imagine making $100,000 and spending $60,000 on ads. That's the reality of low ticket. High ticket is fantastic. And I can't even preach this enough. Since we've done it, it's been fantastic. We were able to hire an operations manager. Said operations manager is training our client success team and training our coaches and building our SOPs and making our client experience so much better because we have the capital to do it. And previously, before that, we didn't have the capital to do it because the profit margin wasn't there.
Our clients are getting the best results they've ever gotten. And it came down to choosing, and it's a risk. Like, we'd run a group coaching container for a really long time that was predominantly group focused. It had a little bit element of one-to-one here and there, but predominantly group coaching. And what we saw was that and it broke our hearts. Like clients would get sometimes lost. Like, and that's the reality of group coaching, is that sometimes people do get lost, and without that one-to-one element to help them go, okay, no, I think we've got a split focus. Like, it's really easy, right? Like, if you're listening to this episode, you're this person too. Like, we are these people too. It's really easy to be having a bad moment in business and you're scrolling online and you see someone else doing something that's winning and you start to think, oh, maybe I should be doing that. And then you start to have all these other thoughts and all these other thoughts. And all of a sudden you're so far away from the strategy that you originally were set. And you've convinced yourself it's the wrong strategy. And sometimes you just need someone to give you a good kick up the ass and say, hey, that's exactly what you should be doing. Stop moving away from that bloody strategy. Stay focused, stay laser focused, and that's why they're getting results. So yeah, Tim, I actually would love to do higher ticket. Like, I'm like, how high can the ticket go? Like, we've spoken about, we're not going to share it here because I've got this in my back pocket forever and ever. I've got this one idea for a fitness offer, but a really, really high end fitness offer. And I think that the more high ticket you go, actually, the more fun the experience would be, like the more amazing it would be. And you would need like 10 clients, So like, I think the sky's the limit.
Sounds pretty easy.
So nailing your offer, obviously super important, but you can have an awesome offer and nobody could know about it. And that's where marketing obviously comes in. And so first of all, we're going to talk about short form and ads. I think some of the mistakes that people make when they think about short form marketing is like, they think that just like putting these kind of like reels on social media is enough to kind of get clients, And the truth is that, like, if you go and you look at your social media right now, if you're listening to this episode, if you look at the reach of the last, 15 pieces of content you've created and how the actual watch through rate, if you actually go and look through at the watch through rate of that content, you'll see that, let's say you had 1,000 views, you'll see that, 90% of people drops off after 4 seconds. Like, they're not seeing your content and it sucks. Like, it sucks so much. And you spend all that time, energy, and effort creating this piece of content that kind of goes nowhere. You're kind of like playing this roulette of like hoping that one of these pieces of content is finally going to pop off and be the one that gets you all your clients. But like, it's just not happening, And it's heartbreaking to see so many people relying on that and spending their time and energy doing that when there's such a beautiful, amazing solution that's right in front of them in Facebook ads. And I get it, because I also did not believe in Facebook ads. I also loved the organic hamster wheel. I also thought that if I could just crack it then, but then I learned Facebook ads and I was like, why the fuck am I bothering with my organic content? Like, why would I bother putting so much effort into this when I can just put a lot of effort into one ad and it could make me money for weeks or even months?
Do you want to tell us about your coaching call yesterday? You don't need to name their names, but
Yes.
they were just, they were adamant that they just needed to nail their content, and that was the reason their business wasn't performing.
Yes. I had a coaching call yesterday with one of my clients, and she understands, she knows that the skill that's going to unlock her next income jump will be Facebook ads. She knows that. But she's so caught up in the way that it's always been done. She's been an entrepreneur for 5 or 6 years and she's always posted on social media, and that's always got her all of her results. But because she's always posted on social media and like over the last 18 months, it's gotten worse and worse. Like, her content's getting less and less reach, and you're all experiencing this. This is what's happening. And I had to really heavily convince her that, like, your social media and your organic content feels heavy to ideate, it feels heavy to create, it feels heavy to think about, because you're requiring this one thing to do everything for you. It's supposed to be your attraction tool. It's supposed to be your nurture tool, and it's supposed to be your conversion tool. And when it's not doing any of those things well, and it's the only way that you make money, it's a really stressful place to be. And so I proposed that if we got her Facebook ads up and running, then her organic content gets to be what she actually wants it to be. She's a personal brand. She can just talk about whatever the fuck she wants, and it would be so magical for her to just be herself, and it would be fun again, and it would be free again, and she wouldn't need to worry about it, because all she needed her organic content to do is to be her business card, and her Facebook ads is going to get her all her sales. And if we run that ecosystem, then organic gets to be fun again.
Yeah, I love that. All right, I'll obviously hit on the Facebook ads component. So there are 6 key funnels that we teach inside Success School. If you want to hit $1 million run rate, you need one. Probably, let's be real, you need 2 of these, because if one shits the bed, then, obviously you need something to fall back on. I'll go through them. So you've got a follower funnel. Essentially what that is you're boosting posts or you're running traffic to your Instagram profile. From there, you're going to send them DM. Number 2 is a DM funnel. So that's basically people just drop into your DMs and they want some kind of freebie or whatever you're offering. Number 3, lead magnet funnel. So they download a lead magnet, you call them, text them, email them, you know the deal. Number 4 is a call funnel. So that's essentially like a VSL call funnel. People come through, they'll watch a video. It can be direct or indirect. What I mean by direct is essentially you're pitching your thing. Indirect is like you're talking about problems. From there, they jump on a call, you sell them. Very easy or very simple in theory, but actually getting one working is quite a challenge. From there, you've got low ticket. So what you're going to do is sell something for $27 to $199. Typically, there'll be a series of bumps from there. And then lastly, we have the webinar funnel, conversion funnel, whatever that is, whatever you want to call it. Essentially, you're doing some kind of live event. And then you're going to record it. You can send out the recording or not. You can pitch on it. You can not. But essentially, you want to be running one of those at any one time. We teach all of them inside Success School. We have a full mentorship on that as well. I'm not going to go into it in super depth, but very important to do. I just want to tell the story about we made the cardinal sin, or I made the cardinal sin. I run that paid ads in our company. And I was running one funnel, and that funnel was going extremely well. It's a webinar funnel. And then one day I went to set it up again and run it for the next week. So we do a weekly webinar, and the thing shit the bed. I'm talking like lead costs went up to like $250. I was freaking the fuck out. We had like 3 closers, salespeople at the time. They needed to be fed. They weren't getting fed. I fucked up. And it probably took me 10 days of like sleepless nights. Like I was literally staying up at night having a panic attack about how I couldn't get the leads for the team and get the calls booked. And anyway, fixed it, rectified it, came up with a new funnel. And now I have a lead magnet funnel, DM funnel, follower funnel, webinar funnel. And if any one of these 4 funnels goes down, I'm not completely wrecked. My sales team isn't going to mass quit because they don't have leads, and we're completely sorted. And this is the way a lot of people treat their business, actually, is they just market organically on Instagram. And then that stops working, and then they're like, shut your business down. You know, they don't have the fortitude to go and learn a new skill, which is Facebook ads.
One of our clients, Austin, actually, shout out to Austin, he came to us and he had been running an organic funnel, and it had been running for like ever. Like he was doing like 30K months, he was doing really well. And then slowly organic started going backwards and backwards. And he let it go backwards, you know, trying to fix it, of course, for 4 or 5 months before eventually he kind of hit an under $10,000 month. And he was like, whoa, okay, this is not good. Yeah, I got to change something. And when he joined Success School in his first 30 days, he signed 14 new clients, which he hadn't done in a really long time before that. And it's simply by being really clear about like, okay, this is the actual funnel that I'm going to run. And when you go all in and you install them, like you can have a turnaround time. I have 100 stories of this, but turnaround time so quick on getting a funnel like busting for you, which is awesome. Okay, next up, if you want to build $1 million business, you have to have a pretty good sales process. Lots of ways that you can do it, but we're going to walk through the most common one that we would recommend and that most people, to be honest, do use. There are some outliers. Of course, some people sell only on webinar. Some people sell predominantly only in DM. They don't even have a sales call. But 90% of businesses, and in fact, 36 of the 37 have done it through the method that I'm about to share with you, which is basically like you get a lead, you contact the lead, you get them onto a sales call, and your sales call sells the service. Okay. That is the funnel. It sounds overly simplified, but that's exactly what it looks like. And there are different ways that, you know, you can obviously run this funnel, but ultimately, whatever way, like if you're listening to this episode, you are already making sales in your company. There is already a process that has worked at some level, and it's your responsibility to take that process out of your mind and get somebody else to help you with it at some point.
Just a quick break. If you want to add 10 to 20 new clients to your business every single month, then this is for you. At Success School, we help business owners just like you install a predictable pipeline that keeps you fully booked all of the time. And we have a 30-day love it or leave it guarantee, which means that if you join and you don't love it, you can leave in the first 30 days, no questions asked. We're offering free scale sessions where our team will show you exactly how to install this system into your business so that you can build the pipeline for yourself. Click the link below or head to startsuccessschool.com and book yours now. What do you have to lose?
Believe it or not, most people, a lot of people come to us at Success School and they think they have a leads and marketing problem, and actually they have a sales problem. You would be so surprised at the percentages. I couldn't give it to you, but I think it's a very high percentage, over 50% of people. What they'll do, and this might be common to you, and you might be thinking of me talking about this and being like, that is me, but they're making a bunch of noise. Okay. So they're running follower ads, they're making content, they're running lead magnets, they're doing some stuff. And, you know, they're generating anywhere from 50 to 150 to 200 leads a week. And what I mean by lead is like usually a follower or a download or whatever it is. And then the whole thing just stops. And then they're like, hey, Tim, hey, Steph, I'm not making any sales and I'm doing heaps of marketing. And then we say, oh, so what are you actually doing with the leads? And usually it's crickets and they're not doing anything with the leads, which is the main problem. So that's not a marketing issue. That's a sales issue. Typically what we would recommend is step around through the process from there, but you actually have to re-engage and contact your leads, believe it or not. That's a crazy theory here, but generally people, let's say they download a lead magnet and you identify a pain, or they raise their hand and say they have the problem that you're solving in this lead magnet. Typically there's not enough pain in that for them to take the next step and book a call with you. So there has to be someone that reaches out and asks them if they want more help and their scripts and stuff and everything they need on that.
Yeah, I think that something that's worth acknowledging here in your sales process is like there is a difference between leads and sales processes, okay? So first and foremost, like if you generate the lead, that is the marketing element. And your process to sell that lead is a sales process. Now, at any given point in time, and this is just to be really realistic with you about numbers, somewhere between like 2 and 8% of your leads are actually going to be interested in buying. Okay.
Yep.
So it's not everybody. And so this role that happens between getting lead and making the sale, which is some sort of nurture. So usually it's a DM conversation, either a text message or a phone call. I usually would not recommend relying only on email for this. So DM, text message, phone call, something like that. You're going to have a lot of not right nows, no's, no, I'm not interested, because only between 2 and 8% of people are actually interested. But if you're generating 1,000 leads a month, 2 and 8% is between 20 to 80 people every single month that you could be signing. Like, that's insane. Like, and most people only want to sign an extra 5 people per week kind of thing, you know? So it's your responsibility and it's your job as the company director, the CEO, the business owner, to find those needles in the haystack, to put somebody in charge of the job of finding that, 2 to 8% of people that are interested in buying, and then inviting them to have another conversation with your team.
So we're going to go through hiring in a minute, but I just want to talk about probably something I wish I knew when I first started was hiring salespeople or hiring setters in particular. So what I would recommend, and you probably might have realized this right now, but you really can't get to building a 7-figure business on your own. You will need a team of some sort. You could probably do it with a VA and like a setter. That's fine. That would be super lean. But what you want to do is you want to have your sales calendar consistently full with people in there, okay? Or even if you run a DM process, you want someone starting the DM chats and then you're closing the chat so you don't burn yourself out. Typically what we see is people get up to like 40 or 50K a month and they completely burn out because they try to do everything themselves. And then we ask them like, oh, what's your plan? And they're like, just do more volume. I'm like, just do more volume, bro, in the business world just leaves you burnt out. So what I would recommend for a lot of people, and don't take this as gospel that you have to do it, but I would recommend having someone set appointments for you for your sales calls. And that's just going to keep your calendar nice and fat. You can have them booking anywhere from 2 to 6 calls a day, 6 if they're great, 2 if they're a little bit shitty. Steph, do you just want to talk a little bit about the sales management process that we've just had to learn recently in terms of like training and upskilling these people rather than just hiring someone and just letting them go?
We've made this mistake, so you don't have to. So take it from the gospel's mouth. We learned the hard way that you can't just, in any role ever, okay, this is actually just leadership and management 101. You cannot just hire somebody and then be like, all right, you go do it. They need training. And I hate to be the
Everyone
one.
needs training.
Everyone needs training, but training doesn't have to look the way that you think it does. I think a lot of people, us included, probably thought that, oh man, we need to have like this really robust training process. It's like really robust. Like, I don't know, I don't know if you were in corporate, but when I was in corporate, we used to have like a 3 or 4 week training. It's not like that. Okay. It's not like that. When you're an entrepreneur and you are an owner operator and you're actually doing the whole thing yourself, you don't have time to give somebody a 4-week onboarding, all right? And so what you're gonna do is you're gonna do 15-minute sessions every single day where you're gonna teach them one thing or show them how to do one thing and then get them to go and do it, okay? And then the next day you review the work and then that's how you do it. And so 15 to 30-minute sessions every single day, Monday to Friday, and within 2 to 3 weeks, that person is gonna be ready to fly. They will be happy to not do that. You can drop down then, and you can drop down to 3 15-minute meetings a week. And then once they're flying, you can get that person training the next group of people who come in, which is awesome. But there is no version of this that doesn't require you training them.
Yeah, I will say you'd be surprised at how many people come to us and say, my VA is shit, my DM shed is shit, my salesperson is shit, my coaches are shit. And then we say, okay, how long are you catching up with them? What's your meetings like? How are you training in them? And then they say, oh, I don't train them. I don't meet with them. I don't give them feedback. I don't review their work. I don't do any quality control. How do you expect anyone to get better if you're not doing any type of quality control or working with them?
And it's actually so easy. Like if you're reviewing a DM setter, it's just so easy. Like you jump on your Instagram 5 minutes before you get on the call. You pick out 3 random messages. You review them. You jump on the call. You say, hey, this message was awesome. This didn't work. Here's why. Here's what I changed next time. Okay, cool. I want you to make that next time, and that's it. That's it. Like that's what we're talking about. But most people aren't even doing that at all, and then they're like just taking a screenshot of a shitty message, putting it in the chat, being like, "You fucked up," and they get hell angry at them, and then like these setters quit, and it just sucks. It just sucks for everyone involved. So do yourself a favor and train your team.
So I'd say our biggest learning has been definitely sales in the last 6 months for us. And then our second biggest learning has been team, which is funny. It's our fourth point here. So we have been adamantly against team for a very long time. Okay. And what I like by team, I don't mean a massive organization of 100 people. I just mean key players, key people you need, no bloat. Everything's happy days. Everyone's on board. I just don't want you to have this. And when I say all this and I tell you who to hire and we talk about the hiring ladder, I don't mean go out and hire 1 million people and absolutely nuke your profit margins. This is not what I'm talking about here, but there is a way to do team well. I'll talk about the way not to do team well, which we've done multiple times in multiple businesses, is we have just hired bodies, particularly bodies not with any set tasks or KPIs or anything that they're measurable. And then all said bodies were just reporting to us all the time. So our inboxes, Steph and I, in multiple businesses, were just getting smashed every day with people asking questions and wanting us to make decisions. And you just get to a point where you start getting decision overwhelm and you can't make any more decisions. You just get so fucking pissed off with making decisions all day that it just seems easier just to fire everybody and start again, which we've done multiple times. And the way we've recently done it is we've hired decision makers. Okay. So people under us where the relevant teams will go to them, they'll ask them questions and then they'll just report stuff up the line, which is fantastic for us because we're only answering a couple of questions a day instead of like hundreds a day. And I think this is where people go wrong, is they don't put anyone in between themselves and the majority of the staff members. Therefore they get decision overwhelm. Therefore they're like, oh, fuck it. Maybe I shouldn't do that.
Yeah. Really quickly on this, hiring good people is, I want to say expensive, but also not. Okay. We were against hiring what I would call middle management, right? Which is what we've actually hired.
Yeah.
We were really against it because we just thought management was like a bit of like a waste of a resource. Like they're not really going to make you any money, which is unfortunately is a really bullshit viewpoint on leadership, because you can't be the manager for everything unless you don't want a life, and so we brought these managers in. So we're operations manager, sales manager. And obviously, like, guys, just be mindful, like, if you're listening to this episode, like, our business is at, a fairly healthy size. I probably wouldn't recommend bringing an operations manager in if you're doing under $60,000 a month, right? Like, it's probably not required at that point. But at maybe around $60,000 to $80,000 a month, you probably would look at hiring a manager to bring into the company. And they sound expensive, except for nothing is as expensive as the cost of your health and mental health and needing a holiday, needing things to run without you, and needing decisions not to like. You cannot run. You will run yourself into the ground, like full stop. Like we've done it many times over, and your health suffers if everything relies on you all the time and you can't take a holiday and everything. It's just like eventually you will have to hire somebody to support you. And you're going to be paying upwards of, they are 6-figure salaries, but they will go to bat, dude. They will go to bat. They will earn it back. They will take so much off your plate that you can focus on making more money after you get over your little burnout slump. And it's the best thing you'll ever do. Honestly, when you find the right people, it's the best thing you'll ever do.
All right, let's talk about the specific hiring ladder to get yourself up to an 83K month or a 7-figure business. So we've got admin support. This is where most people just get stuck in this just admin day to day. So they're chasing invoices, sending emails, writing landing pages, doing all that shit. And they spend most of their time doing that. The problem with all of that shit, it's not revenue generating at all. So you're not making any money doing that. So you need to get yourself a good VA to start. Okay. So like someone that's actually good and has batteries included or memory card included with them. That's really what you want there. I don't really need to say too much about that, but you need to get out of that. Secondly is delivery support. A lot of people get really stuck with delivery because they're like, I'm the fucking best and my clients aren't going to want anyone else, which is true and it isn't true at the same time. It is true because no one's like you and everyone's individual and no one can do what you do. The other part is that they're also individual and they do what they do and they probably do things better than you. Some of our client success team are fucking way better than me at a lot of stuff. Mm-hmm. They're not as good as me at some stuff too, and that's fine. But it's great for our clients because they're getting a broad experience. So you want to go admin team, then someone to help with delivery. That can be part-time, that can be casual, that can be whatever it is. The whole concept here, guys, is you just want to free up your time, okay? If you're just spending all your time delivering and doing admin bullshit, you're never going to grow a 7-figure business. Let's be real. Then from there, sales support. So what I was talking about before is DM setter or salesperson, payment on that is pretty variable. But if you've got admin support, if you've got delivery support, if you've got sales support, you're probably going to be earning some pretty good money and you're going to be pretty well supported. Like, you're not going to be doing all the bullshit. If you're a solo operator right now and you're doing all of this shit, I bet your life is hell. Like, we've been there like many times. We've done this on multiple businesses. I've done this so many times. I could say there is nothing worse than taking sales calls, then running group coaching, then handling all these like shitty little disputes or like problems that happen in your email. It's the worst thing ever. Steph, do you want to talk about marketing support?
Like, this is the way that people try and free up admin support, is they go, what takes me the longest? Marketing. So what am I going to try and outsource at the very beginning when I have no fucking idea how to outsource stuff? I'm going to outsource my marketing. Except that marketing is literally, and we have spoken to so many, like all of our friends that are doing multi-7 and 8 figures. Every single one of them is doing their own marketing. And when I say they're doing their own marketing, what I mean by that is that they are the one that is ideating. They're the one that is front facing. They're the one that is thinking about it, because you are the most connected to your business and its problem. And you are the most connected to your ideal client. Like, you live and breathe it. You understand it on a deepest level. So outsourcing marketing is crazy until you get up to this point. Okay.
So we've hired a head of content, Josiah. I just wanted to give you guys the 411 here, on the inside scoop on what this actually looks like. But essentially how the week goes is we do an ideating session on Monday. So he'll come to us with these ideas. Steph and I will yay or nay and be like, okay, we like it, we don't. Then what we do is we write our various scripts. So short form, long form, we plan that out ourselves. The problem with getting someone else to do your content for you or do your ads or do whatever it is, it's not you and it doesn't sound like you. So if you hire marketing support or you ever do your content support or ad support, the ideation has to come from essentially you. So, or you've got to veto it and say, yes, that aligns with what I do, my values, my mission, all that type of stuff. So from there, you'll have scripts, and then how it works is Josiah will film longs and shorts for us. Then he'll manage our editing team to edit them for it. Then he'll post it on our behalf. Josiah isn't there trying to be us. Okay. He's not trying to sound like us. He's not trying to do any of that. That's where your brand gets really shit and just doesn't sound like you.
Yeah, absolutely. And then last but not least, is where you would probably scale up and like we spoke about, like kind of those management levels. So someone to manage, if you do have a salesperson and you have setters, would be nice for someone to manage those people for you so that you're not the one that's having to review every call or review every conversation or all those things while you're trying to grow the company. Same with operations. If you do end up with having, like us, we have, quite a few coaches in the team or quite a few support coaches in the team. We need someone who can help them, who can upskill them, who can make sure that all of our client strategies are exactly where we want them to be and above and beyond what we would expect. And it's really nice that it doesn't have to be us. So once you get to that point, operations really, really helps as well. And the fifth point about getting to $1 million business is that, and this is sounds really obvious, but is what people seem to neglect or avoid the most, is reinvestment. And there are really uncomfortable seasons of reinvestment, and I'll tell you where they are. Typically, to get to $10,000 a month, like at that point, you're probably going to have to reinvest in like a VA or some admin support at that point. Ideally, you'll be reinvesting in coaches the whole time, guys. Like, I can't even tell you, this is not because we're coaches and because we have, a container, but like, I could not have done this without we've had hundreds, like, well, not hundreds, but we've probably had 20 plus coaches, maybe more. Could not have done this without them all sharing their knowledge with us. Like, there's just no way. Like, trying to do it on your own is absolutely crazy. But there's reinvestment. So there's periods of reinvestment. One, you're going to have to hire a VA, usually around $10,000 a month. Usually delivery is going to come in somewhere around $30,000 a month. And at that point, when you're hiring for delivery, you're typically just like rinsed to profit margin. Like, there's between $30,000 a month and $60,000 a month, there's like almost no profit margin. So you just feel really poor, but you're working double as hard because you're training people, and it just sucks, right? It's a really shitty period. And then from $60,000 a month to basically $100,000 a month is like amazing. It's a gravy. It's a good. And then you go into the $100,000 a month graveyard. And that's a different problem because we're not talking about that on today's episode, but there's a big problem there. It requires a big reinvestment as well. The best business owners that we know are constantly reinvesting in what they do, constantly making it better, constantly learning their weaknesses, constantly improving their skills, sharpening the sword, as you might say. And so if you want to grow to 7 figures, it's something that you should do too. We have some action items for you today from today's episode. So one, highly recommend auditing your offer. Can you actually get it to $83,000 months without it absolutely killing you? So do the math, work it backwards. Number 2 is look at your marketing. Are you actually running top, middle, and bottom of funnel content? So are you doing attraction, nurture, and convert content? Then are you running any paid ads funnels? Would highly recommend getting those set up. Do you have a well-documented sales process? So It's going to be really hard to get someone to help you with sales if you haven't documented your process. Number 4 is, do you have a hiring plan for when you scale so that you can finally get out of the weeds and into the revenue generating work? And lastly, are you reinvesting in coaching? Tim, do you want to take us through some common mistakes and pitfalls to avoid?
Yeah, so first common mistake is trying to do everything yourself. Realistically, you're not going to build an 83K a month business on your own. There will be some support that's required. If you get to the end of the week and you absolutely hate your life, it's probably and I mean that with love, and that's a bit of a joke, but if you get to the end of the week and you're like, oh shit, that was a bad week, I'm dreading Monday doing that again, it's probably time to hire someone and probably key decision makers on wherever you're at. Business is hard, but it shouldn't be so hard that it's a detriment that you dread every day.
Number 2 comes kind of back to that reinvestment part. You can only reinvest what you keep. And so one thing that we see is, as people get flush with cash, they hit $20,000 a month, $30,000 a month, $50,000 a month, they start having lifestyle creep and growing their, buying new cars or more expensive furniture or whatever. And the problem with that is that they're prioritizing that reinvestment into themselves or their lifestyle rather than into their business. And it will be good. Like, business is good, but there's always going to be a season in front of you that it's going to test you, and you don't know when that season's going to come. And when that season comes, you're going to want to have some pocket money spare to be able to throw back into the business to make sure that you can have a fighting chance to survive.
And lastly, guys, is just keeping shit team members too long. So if you've got C players, get rid of those C players. You need to replace them with A players. Before you just go start firing people willy-nilly, we talked about management and leadership today. Have you got a good management and leadership structure in your business to get the best out of the people? If not, they're probably not that bad. You just need to manage them better and become a better leader. If so, you still go through that process and you start doing daily meetings and training them and doing all the good stuff that you should be doing as a leader in your company, and they're still bad, then you definitely want to replace them with better people.
Absolutely. So if you want to grow to 7 figures, I think we've just given you the roadmap today. And if you need any help with that, we would love to help you inside Success School. I think there's a link in the show notes. But otherwise, it was awesome to hang out with you, and we'll see you next week.
See you guys.
That's it for today. If you got value from this episode, all we ask is that you subscribe and share the show with a friend. That's how we grow around here. We can't do it without you. See you next week.